Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Shaun Stemple? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Timothy Shaun Stemple was born on April 9, 1965, and at some point lived in Ohio. He went by the name Shaun. Eventually, he moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. He met a woman named Tricia Jane Ruddock. They married in 1985 and had 2 children, Shane and Lauren. Years later, Shaun started having an affair with a woman named Danny Wood after meeting her at a fast food restaurant where she worked. Shaun told Danny that he was married, but he was in the process of getting a divorce. The couple would use marijuana together. According to Danny, they obtained some of this from her 16-year-old cousin, Terry Hunt. Shaun and Terry became friends. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. During the morning of October 24, 1996, Shaun Stemple contacted the police and reported his wife Tricia missing. He said that she left to go to the pharmacy at about 2 a.m. and never returned. Not long after Shaun reported her missing, Tricia's body was found along Highway 75 between 81st and 91st Streets in Tulsa, Oklahoma. A black Nissan Maxima was parked on the side of the road about 600 feet away from her body. The driver's side front tire was flat. The police arrived on the scene. Initially, they thought that Tricia may have died due to a hit and run. An autopsy revealed that she had fractures to her skull, spine, pelvis, ribs, and arm. Her cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Her injuries were not consistent with being struck by a motor vehicle. Tricia's death was ruled a homicide. The police returned to Highway 75 where Tricia's body had been found. They discovered a baseball bat covered in plastic wrap. It appeared as though this was the murder weapon. Just a few hours after Tricia's body was found, the police received an anonymous tip. A witness stated that they saw an older red pickup truck behind the black Nissan Maxima along Highway 75 at 2:50 a.m. Later, the police arrested Terry Hunt for an unrelated offense. They noticed that he was driving a red pickup truck. He told them that the truck belonged to Shaun Stemple. It didn't take long before Terry confessed to murdering Tricia Stemple. Here is what Terry Hunt told the police. Shaun Stemple approached Terry and offered him $25,000 to $50,000 if he would help kill his wife Tricia. Terry in turn contacted another individual named Nathaniel and asked him to assist in the murder. Nathaniel agreed, and the men purchased a baseball bat and plastic wrap from a Walmart. The plastic wrap was to prevent blood from getting on the baseball bat. Shaun really wanted Tricia to be killed at a particular location on Highway 75, the same location where her body was later found. He initially planned on putting a kill switch in his car that he would activate when he reached the desired location. This would make it seem as though his vehicle had a mechanical failure. Terry would already be waiting at this location with the baseball bat. When Tricia stepped out of the vehicle, Terry would run up behind her and strike her. On October 10, 1996, Terry and Nathaniel drove to the location on Highway 75, but Shaun's plan fell apart because Tricia was not feeling well and refused to go with him. 2 weeks later, on October 24, 1996, Shaun Stemple gave his murder plan another try. This time, only he and Terry were involved. Nathaniel did not participate. Shaun had a red 1978 Ford pickup truck that Terry drove to Highway 75. Terry left the hood up to make it seem as though the truck was disabled. During the early morning hours, Shaun and Tricia drove out to this location in the black Nissan Maxima. Not long after Tricia stepped out of the Maxima, Terry came up behind her and hit her with the baseball bat. Shaun then took the bat and struck his wife several more times. Shaun and Terry placed Tricia's head under the front tire of the pickup truck. They moved the truck forward, but the tire would not roll over Trisha's head. Instead, her head was pushed along the pavement by the tire. When she tried to get up, Shaun walked over to her and said, quote, "Don't worry, Trish, the ambulance is on its way," unquote. He then struck her several more times with the baseball bat. The men put Trisha's body in front of the truck and drove over her chest. Trisha once again tried to get up. She was able to prop herself up on her elbows. Shaun used the baseball bat to strike her several more times. At this point, Shaun believed that Trisha was dead. He drilled a hole in the driver's side front tire of the Nissan Maxima to make it look as though the car was parked there because it had a flat tire. Shaun drove Terry home in the pickup truck. When Shaun was on his way back to his own residence, he passed the crime scene and noticed that Trisha had moved into the grass beside the road. She was still alive. Shaun ran over her with the pickup truck while driving at about 60 miles per hour. Trisha did not survive. The police believed Terry's confession. When the police tried to interview Shaun, he asked for an attorney. Both Terry and Shaun were arrested and charged with Trisha's murder. Terry Hunt accepted a plea bargain to avoid the death penalty. In 1997, he pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. In 1998, Shaun went to trial and was convicted of first-degree malice aforethought murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and attempted first-degree murder. The penalty recommended by the jury was death. The judge sentenced Shaun to death in accordance with the jury's recommendation. On March 15, 2012, Shaun Stemple had his final meal. He had a large stuffed crust pizza with extra cheese, half pepperoni, and half Canadian bacon, and a 2-liter bottle of orange soda with ice. Right before he was executed, Shaun was asked if he had any last words. He shook his head no. Shaun Stemple was pronounced dead at 6:11 p.m. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts in a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Danny Wood, who was Shaun's affair partner and Terry's cousin, talked about her relationship with Shaun. She claimed that she never realized he did not have any intention of getting divorced. She was highly attracted to Shaun, believing he had a lot of potential. She could see a future with him, like a white picket fence and children. Her dream was to be with him for the rest of her life. Danny wanted someone who was crazy about her, and Shaun appeared to fit this description. From her perspective, Shaun was like her soulmate, and she would never find anyone else like him. This illustrates a degree of gullibility on the part of Danny, but it also shows how Shaun was highly manipulative. After the murder, he spent a lot of time with Danny and engaged in over-the-top romantic gestures, like filling the house with candles and having a bath waiting for her when she came home. Item number 2. One motive for the murder was money. Trisha had a $950,000 life insurance policy, which Shaun purchased not even 6 weeks before her death. This was an unusual purchase considering that Shaun wasn't paying any other bills. Due to non-payment, his residence did not even have electricity, but Shaun thought it was a good time to buy a life insurance policy. Item number 3. When Shaun was in the Tulsa County Jail, awaiting his murder trial, he wrote several notes that made him look guilty. These notes contained confessions, names of witnesses, and instructions to commit murder. The idea here was that Shaun would connect to potential conspirators on the outside through various inmates, like the inmates would hire these conspirators for Shaun. These people would carry out his bidding in order to help Shaun avoid being convicted of murder. In one set of instructions, Shaun ordered these people to approach Terry Hunt and force Terry to write various confession letters, which exonerated Shaun. They were to tell Terry that he needed to leave the area for a while. This way he would be relaxed when he wrote the letters. Shaun told his potential conspirators to buy paper, envelopes, and stamps, but to let Terry open them. This way only Terry's DNA and fingerprints would be on the materials. Shaun provided the content of the notes for Terry to write in his own handwriting. One letter, which was supposed to be from Terry to Shaun, illustrates Shaun's thinking fairly well. The letter read, quote, "Shaun, I'm sorry I hit your wife. She ran out in front of me when I was looking for you. I never ever seen her till after I hit her. I am not going to court, but I wrote the police a letter telling them you didn't do it, so you should get out. I'm sorry she died. Terry," unquote. Shaun spelled the word wrote without using the W. In addition to this letter, Terry was also supposed to write letters to his uncle, Danny Wood, a detective, and others. After Terry completed all these letters, the potential conspirators were supposed to murder him. So Shaun ordered them to kill Terry. Shaun wrote, quote, "Terry has to just disappear with no trace ever. Nothing can show that he was taken by force, or I am blanked," unquote. Among the many obvious flaws in Shaun's plan was that Terry was in jail. There was no way he was going to disappear. As far as Shaun's love for Danny Wood, one instruction indicated that Terry could be told how Danny may be harmed if he didn't cooperate, but Shaun warned his potential conspirators not to touch her. Maybe it was true love after all. Item number 4. In 2006, 5 years before Shaun was executed, his 21-year-old son, Shane, stepped in front of a truck on Highway 44. Shane did not survive the collision that followed. It is reasonable to believe that Shane's decision was connected to his father murdering his mother. Item number 5. Prior to Shaun's execution, he had many supporters who believed that there was not enough evidence to convict him. After 2012, there was substantially less interest in proving his innocence, mostly because of the execution part. This brings me to the question, was Shaun Stemple guilty of murder? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that he was guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. Less than 6 weeks before the murder, Shaun purchased a $950,000 life insurance policy on his wife, even though he wasn't paying his bills. At the time of his wife's death, Shaun was having an affair and lying to his mistress. He told her he was getting a divorce, but he had not made any effort to do that. Terry Hunt implicated Shaun in the murder. Terry's description of the events matches the physical evidence at the scene. If Terry acted alone, how did he get access to Shaun's pickup truck? What was his motive to kill Tricia? And how did he get Tricia to stop along Highway 75? The hole that was found in the front tire of the Nissan Maxima contained markings consistent with a power drill. In jail, Shaun wrote a long and complex set of instructions to avoid being convicted. These instructions involved killing Terry Hunt. Shaun would have people believe that he didn't kill his wife, but he was willing to kill the cousin of his mistress. Moving to the exculpatory factors, no physical evidence connected Shaun to the murder. Terry Hunt avoided the death penalty in exchange for testifying against Shaun Stemple. In theory, Terry could have carried out the murder alone. That's pretty much it for exculpatory factors. When considering all the evidence, do I think that Shaun Stemple was guilty? Yes, I believe he was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Shaun Stemple was sensation-seeking, impulsive, irresponsible, grandiose, self-centered, manipulative, and had a sense of entitlement. He wanted to get rid of his wife because he found a new lover and because he desired more money. Tricia desperately fought for her life, even as Shaun beat her with a baseball bat and ran her over with a pickup truck. After his arrest, Shaun's confidence was extremely high. He thought he could deceive everyone with ease. In jail, he orchestrated a plan to gain exoneration by trusting inmates to carry out his will. Ultimately, he was only successful at gaining execution. Now moving to my final thoughts. After Shaun's execution, his mother said, quote, "The state of Oklahoma murdered an innocent man today," unquote. This, of course, is alarming news. If it's true, it means that 2 people were executed in Oklahoma that day, Shaun Stemple and whoever the innocent man was. Shaun's mother wasn't the only person who believed Shaun was innocent. He had done an effective job at convincing people he was murder-free, even as he carried out his plan to kill his conspirator from jail. Shaun's case is a testament to the power of manipulation possessed by individuals who are narcissistic and psychopathic. Those are my thoughts on the case of Shaun Stemple. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.